Alright guys, War Season is back. Season 44 is underway, and we are back on paths 1 and 3, which we used to do a few seasons ago. So got to get used to these ones again. The first two fights here, they are not tactic fights. The new tactic deals with placebo buffs and then converting them to, then you can get potentially unstoppables, and there are brand new tactics for countering them, and we've got some new champions to counter some of those annoying tactics. But for now, we've got Path 3. Usually these can be like Gallon or Hulkling fights, but with a couple of metal champions here. Went with Magneto, and this is actually my 5-star Ascended Magneto, which we used a little bit at the end of last season. And against Nova here, it just shuts it down. I don't have to worry about the power burn or anything. This is pretty straightforward. Magneto versus Nova, how I used to do it back in the day. So this is good. Again, it's just nice to be on some paths that are familiar. Granted, Hazard Shift used to be familiar, paths 8 and 9, even further back in time, but it's okay. We have, and the new map, you have to have 9 players go in and clear their path fights. So you've got 4 fights per path. So for me, I got 2 accounts, so I got the eight fights, and then you've got 3 islands with 3 fight minis on each, and then you have the boss island as well with another 5 fights there. So you got to coordinate amongst everyone. So again, Magneto is going to take this spaced armor, electric defense, or whatever, this Iron Man Infinity War. Again, 7-star, which is kind of cool, but again, 5-star Ascended Magneto is going to take him down. We're just going to play it slow and steady, and we'll be absolutely fine here. So I'll let the fight, as the fight plays out, so we'll discuss more of the new map. So again, you'll take your first 2 fights, you portal to another portal, which takes you to your next 2 fights. So in theory, you could switch, gives you a chance to swap paths if that's what you want to do. In this particular one, I think what we ended up doing is I did path 3 with the main account here, and then swapped over to path 1 in the second phase, and the junior account did path 1, then went over to path 3, and then we did 2 minis, and then actually late in the game, after I'd already kind of started putting this together, there were 2 fights left that we didn't really have sorted out, and we pretty much had the win in the bag anyways. So I went ahead and did 2 extra fights, which did not go perfectly smooth, but I got them down, and we secured ourselves the win. Also, if you saw my post earlier a few weeks ago, even though we secured Masters with a new alliance that we had been with as a battle group, it did not work out. There was some tension amongst the leaders, I guess, and so we found ourselves a new group to join, and we will try and push for Platinum 1 Masters again. So we'll see how well we do. We've already 1 win in, and we've already 1 more in, and we've already got the first win of the season. So we'll have to see how if we can keep that up. So now Path 1, Section 1, we've got a thing. Looking back, I probably could have used somebody else, but I went with Doc Ock because I used to do this fight all the time. I just didn't do a great job counting on this one here. If he it's really just if he gets a regen without a heal block, then it can be very annoying, and eventually he'll get a big fury. But here, Doc Ock has easy access to the heal block. My problem is here I go for the special 2, but because I heal block him, I power lock him at the same time, then I get a nice big damage, and he's almost done, but he's at 15 rock stacks, and he's not close to a bar of power. So now I got to hit into his block, and then I get clapped there, but because I keep putting on the power lock, he's not gaining any power. So I got to back up. I got to go ahead. I could have maybe parry heavied or parry hit into him to try and get some power on him, and then but potentially push him unstoppable. But that's fine. We're just gonna, again, I get clapped in the face a little bit, but he finally throws that special, and then I can finish off the fight no problem. And that's the only one that I used Doc Ock for, so it doesn't matter. That fight's down. Very tricky fight here. Very proud of this one. We got Cassie against Ebony Maw, who's a global defender. We got Masochism, Vigorous Assault. So when you put a debuff on him, he is going to get a regen. When he's got a regen, he's going to be unblockable. And the new attackers, I think it's Decay, against the Sugar Pill defenders, I'm going to put a Wither on when I'm immune to the placebos. So if I'm immune to any buff, I put the Wither on. Because I have no buffs, I'm always putting the Withers on with Cassie here. I have to watch out for the Falter. That's all I got to do. And I do get clipped there. There's my invul boost. Gets 2 hits taken away. But I can just shrink down even when he is unblockable. And I can go ahead and bypass the mechanic there. The bypass the unblockable. And I can get my my heavies in, and I can get my attacks in. And this was great, because there I'm going to go ahead, I've got a whole bunch of power stings. We're going to go with the taunt on. When you knock them down, also as a global attacker, you put on a slow, so that you can prevent the unstoppable that they get if you remove, like, I guess it's remove too many placebos. There's a combination of the placebo buffs, eventually will give them an unstoppable. If you put the slow down by knocking them down with the decay attackers, then you put a slow on and you can bypass the unstoppable. That is the whole mechanic here. So you want to have some of the tactic attackers against the tactic defenders. And Cassie here is an absolute beast here against this Maw, and we finish with 100% health. Full yellow bar. Really great fight there. Next, in Section 2, we've got another metal champion in Ultron with the sloped armor and the thorns. Going to put the bleed on you if they have an armor up. We're going to go in with the rank 4 Magneto on the junior account. And again, wait for the magnetism to be applied, and then we can just parry heavy, and we're not going to... we're bleed resistant anyway, and we're not going to get any bleeds on us because Magneto just shuts the node down completely. And that this idea that Magneto shutting down the nodes is going to come back to bite me in the butt just a little bit, and we'll get to that later. But it didn't work out exactly as planned for every Magneto fight. It worked, but just not enough in the tank to do what I wanted. So here, this is no problem. We're just going to build up to a special 3 and let the build up a bunch of prowess, because that's what I'm used to doing with Magneto. Drop a big old special 3, and goodbye Ultron. There we go. Very nice. Next up, we'll just switch over to Path 1 for a second. We've got, in Section 2, we got Wiccan against Hulkling. Here, again, never back down, and you have to be careful that you don't want to give him any regens on this one, because too many regens, he's going to go unblockable. Here, with Wiccan, we can go ahead, we can parry right away, go into a light ending combo into Special 1, is going to put the extended neutralize on. Then we're going to go 5-hit combo ending in a medium to put on the incinerate. And then we are just going to cycle through different spells, either holding block or heavy attacks or light and medium ending combos. We got a big old Special 2 there. And because the neutralize is on the entire fight, just about Wiccan is just melting the entire time. It disappears there for a brief second, and then he's done. Super easy fight. Next, we got Sandman making his first war appearance. He is also a global attacker against this buffet Arc Overload Man-Thing, and he's also poison, bleed, and shock immune. Also, he's got a cool mechanic where if you when you hit in with light and medium attacks, you're going to be getting those resistance up on the left-hand side. And when you get to 20, you are going to go into a mode where you go unstoppable, which is a lot of fun, like right here. So I wasn't really taking advantage of it too much. And there's also a mechanic where you can root the opponent. I was just playing. He just completely countered the node for me. He can't reverse the healing on this node, but he is a great heal reverse champion. You get those special ones on the to put the petrify on, And you can just see he's basically heal blocked the entire fight. Anytime he tries to heal with those regens, he's going nowhere. So we're just slowly taking him down, but we're just staying topped off at like basically almost 100% health the entire time. The other fight I did try with him, which I don't have the recording on because I did it at the very end, kind of the last minute thing. There was actually a photon on Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Shock. And he is definitely not the ideal counter, but I did some practice. And the other problem with the node was it had debuffs on you, reduce your ability accuracy. So I wasn't able to, I practiced and I was able to time it up so that my resistance up would get to 20 when Photon would go into her mode where her specials are unblockable, and the unstoppable passive counters the unblockable special one. But between playing with the hazard shift and the reduced ability accuracy, I was able to get like 50% down in one run. Then she didn't play nice she didn't throw a special when I needed her to in the second run, but eventually I got her down. We just didn't have an ideal counter there. It was getting late into the end of the war, and Sandman did the work for me. Still got some attack bonus in. We were still going to win the war at that point, so we really just needed to make sure we cleared the map. So yes, it's a few extra points for the overall season score, but we needed to get it down, and it worked out pretty well. Next up, back on path 3, we've got Magneto here against Elsa. Just really, there's nothing that Elsa doesn't have any armor ups on this node, so there's no shock to deal with. Plus, we're shock resistant anyway, and just in case the opponent was running those damaging masteries, I wanted to make sure we had a mutant. So because I've got the mutant here against Elsa, so I don't get stuck with a degen trap or anything, then Magneto was the way to go here. Only thing I had to do was sometimes Elsa can purify your parry, so I had to be careful there, and just did a lot of baiting special ones the entire time. While this fight's going on, I'll tell you there was another fight on the boss island, a stunning reflection, brute force, killmonger, where and you can't gain power without a debuff on the opponent, or without a damaging debuff on the opponent, and we didn't have anyone for that one either. And I ended up using Wiccan, who could have easily soloed the fight. He got incinerates on the medium ending combo, which removed the stunning reflection, which allowed me to parry and get extra 50%, like 40% attack during that cooldown phase. The only issue I had was that if you accidentally parry on that node, which can happen from time to time, then you get clapped. So I probably could have soloed that fight with Wiccan, but Wiccan got the fight down in the end anyways. Again, I don't have that one here. I'm just not going to but that's fine. For here, we got the 10 fights, and we've got only one issue that we're going to have. The first mini here is Cassie's going to take this Rintrah, and this Rintrah here is going to gain a bunch of power gain, but again, the withers are going to help us keep the power gain to like reasonable levels, and we're going to go ahead and spam those special ones to get the taunt on, so Rintrah keeps throwing specials. I'm going to shrink down while Rintrah is coming in to get Rintrah to miss as many times as I can while I'm shrunken down, so I can maximize the power stings. So there, I'm just kind of doing it at the end. As the fight goes on, I'm shrinking earlier and earlier, I think, so that I can get there. Still only getting a couple misses there, but that's fine. But again, here we're also going to finish with a light ending combo to try and apply. We want to try to apply the poison with a light ending combo. There, we got a few more miss attacks in there, so we're up to 20 plus power stings at this point. So this is great. Go for another one here, and as long as we can keep up that special one as well, so that we put the taunt on, so that Rintrah keeps throwing specials. It's just a beautiful cycle here, and Cassie does an excellent job on this mini. I think she's going to be, as long as she doesn't get banned, she's going to be putting in a lot of work. I actually have ranked up a handful of champions that I think are going to be solid attackers all around. There's Void, there's Silk, Sandman, Cassie. Lots of fun champions that are going to be used this season. I think even Hitmonkey, Massacre. Lots of champions that might see some action this season. And then here, I made a mistake. On the one hand, Magneto is great for countering future Ant-Man, but on here, a Burden of Might is very, very annoying and high energy diet. So what I should have done is I should not have gone with the parries, because every time I put a parry, I'm putting the prowess on myself. The more buffs I have, the less power I can gain. And the problem is that Magneto did not shut the power gain part of the node down. Everything else is fine, but I realized at a certain point I am not going to gain any power. And the problem is that at this point is I'm not going to gain any power. And without any power, I can't get my big special 3 off. And all I can do is just throw regular hits in. And it takes me a while to figure out what the heck was going on here. So I did speed this one up because it's at a certain point it's quite boring. Because I realize all I can do is hit into him as hard as I can, and I get close to the end. Maybe if I would have boosted up even a bit more, I don't know. I was pretty high on the boosts, but what I should have done is just not heavy attacked. I should have just gone with straight up base attacks, and then been able to drop like the special 2, throw a big armor break on, or get the bleeds from the special 1 going. But don't use. I should not have gone with the parry heavy method, because I have a boatload of prowess but no power to show for it. So it's a little boring here, but this is the last fight that we did, and unfortunately we are going to time out on this one. Which is unfortunate, but again, we won this war pretty handily. So 1-0 on the season. Pretty much that's all that matters at this point. Rack up those wins as best we can. I think it's a little bit less pressure on us at the moment because we're not, entrenched in Masters at the moment. It would be nice if we could get back up there again. It was disappointing that it didn't work out in the previous alliance, but we're going to push right back up there this season. And also at the end of the video, if you want to see, I did sneak in my 2 6-star Ascensions. I did 2 favorable Cosmic Champions, 1 on each account. So if you want to take a guess on who those are, you can guess now and then go over to the end of the video to see which ones they were. But for now, I'm going to let the music play out. You can see the rest of this fight where I time out and finish it off. And you can see my 2 Ascended Champions at the end of the video. So hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.